if it'll work. I haven't done this in so long. Hopefully it'll work and actually go through.
I'm watching it, waiting for it to turn live, and then I'm going to mute the video, but that way I can at least see what they're saying in the chat.
All right. Looks like it has come through. Looks like we are live despite the fact that we haven't done this for 3 weeks. And so we are here. Hopefully the live chat shows up on the screen as it's supposed to. But as you guys know, I have absolutely no control over that. So,
Yeah.
that being said, hello and welcome back to the Written in Melanin channel, to the Melanin Chat. Wherever this day may have found you, we are so glad that you are here. My name is Chelsea, better known as CM Lockhart, and I am here with the one, the only Miss Audra Russell. And we aim to add some melanin to your pages today, folks. We're going to have a good time. Okay, I'm a little excited, so I'm going to tone it down a little bit.
You ain't got to tone it down. Be you, girl. Be excited.
I am excited to be back. So, as you guys can tell, we have been on break for a couple of weeks. But before I get into reasons, I'm going to say hello. Author D.L. White was the first one in here today, so whoop, whoop.
Hey, DL.
Benjamin was second. Ashley is here. Camille is here. Hey, you guys. How you doing? Welcome back. Glad you guys made it, even though we weren't here for a while. But gonna get into that. So, well, hopefully this is still going because I got an error from YouTube saying, hey, your stream's not going too smoothly. So if we crash, just know that it's not me. I didn't do anything. So.
It looks like it's still going. I think we good.
Okay, cool. Well, that being said, let's catch you guys up on what's been happening. So, obviously, as you can tell, Audra is not LaCase. They are two completely different people. All right? And Audra's been on the channel before, but this is the formal announcement that the Melanin Chat is returning, and Audra is going to be the new co-host. So, yay!
Excited to be here. So happy to be here. Yay! I'm honored that you asked me to be a part of this. I really am. I'm looking forward to lots and lots of fun and great conversations and working with the mastermind like Chelsea, y'all. Amazing. I'm happy to be here.
Well, that's a word that's never been used to describe me, but I will accept it.
Take your sunshine and your flowers.
I will accept that. Okay, mastermind. I'm gonna add that to the list. So when somebody asks, like, who are you? I'm gonna be like, well, I've been called a mastermind. So,
yes, you are. Melanin mastermind.
Hey, I like that. But to clear things up, because I feel like this would be a question that I would have were I not actually a part of it, is what happened to LaCase? So, to be perfectly clear, LaCase and I are still on really great terms. Nothing bad happened. There's no shade. There's no tea to spill. All right? But she's a full adult, wholly cooked. All right? And she's got her own life. And our schedules don't match up anymore. So, she is going to be in the chat when she can. And that's the whole story, the long, the short. And she will be back on June 1st for the launch of her book, Across the Broken Tide. So keep an eye.
That will be fun because that will be the three of us.
Yes, we're all gonna be here. I'm not gonna want to miss that. Yeah. All right. So, and this is a free reminder that if you have not hit the like button on this video yet, you can go ahead and do that because it's absolutely free. It doesn't hurt you and it helps us with the algorithm. So, oh, Mickey's here. How you doing? Welcome back. We are back. Okay. Oh, Tamara is here too. Hey, how you doing? Okay. I'm so excited to be back here, you guys. Like, for real, for real. I miss doing this every week. So, now that we have the life changes updated, everything is good on our end, let us get into the Melanin Spotlight. Also, a free reminder to check out the Melanin Library. And shout out to my mom because she's killing it adding all of these books. Because, like, we went in the other day and she had, like, 74 books just, like, casually sitting there waiting to be linked and added to the library. She's killing it. So, that being said, we have a lot of books in the library, you guys. So, go to the website, check it out, find something that you like to read. These books are also there, and there's also links down in the description box below if either one of these appeals to you. And of course, you know those are affiliate links. So if you click on it, you'll be helping out the Black authors you see on screen, as well as the Black author who actually wrote the book. So that being said, I'm going to let Audra go first, and then I'll go next.
You're going to throw me on the hot seat.
Yep.
Okay.
Have at it, ma'am.
Thank you. My choice is Elemental by Whitney Hill, who is going to be on my podcast later in June. And
Between the Reads.
Yes, on Between the Reads, yes. And this is the synopsis. Enter an urban fantasy world where elves, vampires, wares, jinn, and others maintain a precarious balance of power in North Carolina. Welcome to Otherside. Private investigator and sylph Arden Finch is determined to come out of the shadows and practice her forbidden magic. There's just one problem. The elves have a bounty on elementals like her. When an elf hires Arden without realizing what she is, she seizes the chance to gain leverage in the dangerous world of Otherside, even if it means risking exposure. But as the case grows more perilous, Arden draws the attention of the region's deadliest power players. Fans of Kim Harrison, Faith Hunter, and the early Anita Blake series will find a kick-ass heroine to love in Arden. That's it.
That's it. Link in the description if you want to get it. Just
yes. Yes.
And we could all use more fantasy. And also, fun fact, the books that we have for you guys today are actually by indie authors. And, you know, we support indie authors on this channel because we are indie authors. So, keep that in mind. Just throwing that out there. Okay? And also,
okay.
Also, hey, Shamey, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. Ashley G is throwing shade at you, Audra, because
I see that. What is this shade that's being thrown my way?
Fake salty.
The hell? And what the other hose or the other hoss?
Host? I think she meant to put a T.
Oh, host. You better put a T on that. Don't be calling me no ho up in here. Just saying. I don't know what the shade is. Ashley and I used to have love. I thought Ashley, we was the midget peeps. You know what I'm saying?
Peeps. Y'all are short though. I mean.
Okay, calm that down. We don't need to talk about the height up in here. That's not part of the chat. Okay.
Okay.
Whatever. You tall people, y'all got. Yeah, okay.
Heights. That's what we got. All right. Mickey, thank you for the compliment. I've actually had this for a very long time. It came from Rue 21 when it was still okay for me to shop at Rue 21. That's how long I've had this. Also, don't know why I shared that. That's oversharing. You didn't even know where I got it from. I'm going to accept the compliment. Anyway.
I like Rue 21. I still shop there. I'm just saying, you know.
I went through a phase after graduating high school where I was just like, ooh, not Rue 21. I'm going to go to, what is it, Forever 21. Got to upgrade. So, it was a weird mindset thing that has absolutely nothing to do with anything. Because now I don't even step foot in malls. So, Panini. So. And not Ashley saying she's going to behave until the after chat. Fun fact, if you want to join the after chat, we have lots of hee-hees and giggles. So, it's $5 to get in, and there's a link in the description box below, and you're supporting the Black authors, as well as Written in Melanin, as well as the Melanin Library. There are a lot of good things. So,
yes.
Just saying.
Yes.
If you can spare the coins. All right. But, onto my Melanin Spotlight pick. My book is Fury Rising by Kish Knight. So, the back of the book reads, Plan A? Free herself from serving her demon, finish college, and then get the hell out of Dodge. You see, it wasn't Alicia's fault that her life was on borrowed time, since her mother had saved her life as a child by turning to one of the Dark Princes. So, escaping that life was Alicia's plan until her master sends her out on a dream walk that lands her dead center in the middle of an immortal showdown. Scratch Plan A, and Plan B too. New Plan C. Gather her team, seize one of the Dark Kingdoms, rise to power in the mortal world, and maybe she can be left the hell alone for once. Once she has enough dark power, she can make herself fully human again. Only she didn't expect to find hunters living in her town. Hunters who existed solely to eradicate any and all dark forces, no exceptions made. A cruel twist of fate, then, to find herself falling deeply in love with one of these hunters. Can Alicia rise in the ranks in time to regain her humanity before her lover is forced to slaughter her next? So, again, check it out. It's in the library if you want to peruse. I was trying to find the word and I couldn't, but yeah. And there are links down in the description box below. Don't know how many times I'm going to say that. Also, another free reminder to like this video if you're watching it because it's free. Okay, so now that we got life updates with the Melanin Chat out the way, the Melanin Spotlights, I also want to let you guys know that if you haven't already, you should for sure check out Audra's podcast, Between the Reads. I'm going to let her tell you about it because it's her podcast. But
okay.
Also, check it out, you guys. For sure. If you like do anything like, I don't know, wash dishes or go to the bathroom or any place where you can listen, put in headphones and do stuff. You know, just saying.
Not the bathroom.
I mean, what else you doing? Not going nowhere, clearly.
You can also listen to it in the car on the way to work.
Yeah. Oh, I forget
if you don't work from home
to do that.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I work from home and Ben works from home, and my mom is retired, so I'm like, oh, people still leave the house to do that.
Yes, people still leave the house. Not often, but people do still leave the house. They do. So, Between the Reads is right? Leaving the house, you know. I mean, I'm fine with staying in, but, you know, people do have to leave. So, something to listen to as you're going to work. But Between the Reads is something I started last January. This January was my 1-year anniversary because I found myself reading books by Black indie authors that were really good, and in some cases better than books that were traditionally published, not throwing shade at traditional publishing, but books that would receive a lot of hype and weren't really all that. And then I realized that Black authors, especially indie published, were not getting the shine that they deserved. And anytime I reached out to a Black indie author through DMs on Instagram, they were always happy to talk about the book. They were actually kind of thrilled that, you know, I read the book and took the time to chat it up with them. And when I was talking to one author, I said, wouldn't it be great if there was a podcast where we could just, you know, hash it up about a book and laugh like this and talk like this? And she said, do it. That's how Between the Reads was born. And a year later, I have over 1,000 followers on Instagram. My episodes get about 40 downloads a piece, which by some may not be a lot, but it's consistent and it's growing. Good. Yeah. And I have a lot of things in the works. I try to do different themes for different months. In June, I'm going to be doing a Black Indie Authors Week. So I'm still hashing out the details for that, but I'm working with Chelsea and some other authors, and we're going to have a really good time. So the whole week of Juneteenth, we're going to be hashing it up with the Black indie authors, promoting them, all that kind of stuff. So that's what I do. I just try to bring shine to authors who are otherwise overlooked. And I focus only on Black authors because, again, overlooked. That's what I do.
I feel you. Same mindset. We here.
Right, we
here. Right, I get you. I follow you. All right. We on the same train going in the same direction. All right.
We on the melanin train.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to make sure that you guys actually knew about Between the Reads, because I know we mentioned it from time to time whenever we get a chance. But it's a really dope podcast, and you know I'm all about Black authors getting their shine, especially indie authors, because like Audra said, I love a good traditionally published book. I still read them, obviously. I still talk about them. We'll probably still have some of the authors on the channel, but also I'm really big about talking to indie authors and self-published authors, because they also need the same amount of shine and screen time and people talking about their books. Because let's be real here, sometimes some of the stuff that goes through traditional publishing is not everything that we wish it was. So,
Exactly.
that being said, Benjamin, if you are listening to this, if you could drop a link to Between the Reads in the chat. I forgot to add it to the description box below, but I did add Audra's website, which I believe you can get to her podcast from there. And then you can also check it out wherever you listen to podcasts at. So like Google Podcasts, Spotify, what is it?
iHeartRadio,
Pocket Cast, like literally
Pocket Cast,
type in
Stitcher.
Yeah.
And I'm even on Amazon Music, the new streaming service there.
Okay,
so.
look at you being fancy.
You know. Buzzsprout, I can't even take all the credit for that. Buzzsprout makes it very easy since my podcast is hosted there. Anytime something new comes up like that, they just give me a button and say, click this to put your podcast on. I'm like, hey, that works. That works. And yes, Tamara, please check out my podcast. I would love that.
Yes. And I also love that Ashley's like, I'm taking the entirety of June as Juneteenth. I respect it.
Yep.
Do it.
Absolutely. Like I consciously, like, I will look at fireworks on July 4th, but it doesn't hold the same meaning for me. And
really doesn't.
I really want to like start having Juneteenth be the big thing like they have in Texas. Juneteenth is a big thing in Texas, so I'll make it a big thing for me.
Is it? Depends on what part of Texas.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm just like...
You just had to just take that moment and just ruin it, right, Chelsea?
I mean, I'm a perpetual rain cloud. I'm always prepared to rain on a parade. Okay.
Yes, there's a specific part of Texas, I believe, where it ended up happening, where they received the news finally that they were free. That it's kind of a big thing there. Yeah. Can't remember the town.
I'm not even gonna try. I never knew it, so I'm not even gonna pretend like I have that information to like pull forward. But since this is the Melanin Chat Returns episode, I feel like it is our solemn duty to talk about some of the things that have been happening on book Twitter since we've been gone.
Okay, I'll leave that to you, and I'll just interject because I don't follow Twitter like that.
Y'all know
me and Twitter ain't.
Yes,
you're. Yeah, I am the Instagram person. That's your bailiwick. Go ahead, hit it.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, you got to stay up to date on things, because when we talk about indie publishing and traditional publishing and changes that are coming down the pipeline or that we want to see happening, right? You kind of have to know what's happening, or you don't have to know, right? You don't have to know. I like to know so you can tell when someone's being like performative versus people are actually trying to make a difference, right? But I feel like the first thing that we should talk about is, okay, so there are two different separate dramas happening, right? So the first one we're going to talk about is this woman named Lauren Hugh. And yes, she is, before you ask. So basically, she got on Twitter and basically she got, how do I put this? She got a review on Goodreads, because authors,
oh, is that the one you were telling us about? Oh yeah, okay.
So as authors, you know that if you get your book on Goodreads, it is a platform for reviewers. Let me say this again, louder in the back, in case you're watching this and you stumble across this sometime in the future and you don't know what we're talking about. Goodreads is a platform for reviewers. All right, if you are an author and you ain't got thick skin, stay off of Goodreads. You ain't got no business being over there. All right, and you like a 12-year-old in a 21 and up club, you ain't got no reason to be there. Okay?
Right.
So, that being said, she went on Goodreads and she got good reviews. She got like 5 stars, right? And she was like thanking people on Twitter, like, oh, thank you for the review, da 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 da. She got a 4-star review and decided to completely flip her lid and went all the way off the tracks. All the way off, okay? And she's like using profanity and saying like reviewers need no happiness, and she's basically like, how dare you, and I put my soul into this book and all of this, that, and the other, and just going ham on these reviewers who gave her a 4-star review. And for those of you who don't know, the scale is up to 5. It's not
Right.
a 10 point scale.
If somebody gives me a 4-star, I'm saying thank you very much, and I'm keeping it moving.
Right? Right? And I was just like, oh, also Read Love Listen is here. Hey, how you doing? And
hello.
Good reasons for readers. But anyway, she just lost it. And obviously, you know, y'all know how Twitter usually goes. Usually you take 1 to 2 routes once you have a non-melanated person going off, right?
Mm-hmm.
They usually go the route of either they apologize, they type something up in their notes app, and they take a screenshot, and they're like, I'm so sorry. It was in my emotions. I'm so sorry, right? They go that route. Or they double down, and they're like, I need a break. I'm so sorry. This is so stressful, you guys. I can't do the internet anymore, right?
Yeah.
Those are the 2 routes that you should take. Well, she doubled down, and then she's just, like, going ham. She's like, I think it got worse. I don't follow her on Twitter, so I just saw other people like screenshotting it and like talking about it. Her tweets are really, really bad. They're like terrible, right? But the peak of all of this is when she compared getting a 4-star review to this equivalent of a sexual assault, especially like a rape. And people are like, "Are you really doing this right now? What in the world?"
The whiteness, the caucasity is amazing.
Yeah, and then Read Love Listen added to it, like, yeah, she blamed it on her weed. She said that she was high at 3 a.m. and tweeted that.
Okay, so diabetes, weed, these are reasons why people just okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, y'all are with me. Like, if I get a 4-star review on my book, I am happy. Right?
Right.
Like,
exactly.
Thank you for reading it. Thank you for buying it. Thank you for thinking it was good. Because let's be real here. Like, if you get 4 stars, that's good. It's
yes.
I don't know where. That's basically where all the unrest is coming from. It's basically like, what did you expect? Every review to be 5 stars? That's ridiculous. And it's just like the entitlement of her to just be able to go off, and like people are still buying her book and she's not getting shut down. Because imagine if a black person did this though. It was like, how dare you guys not rate my book 5 stars?
Yeah.
Like, that person would not have an agent, that person would not have a publisher, their book would be in, what is it when they rescind it? I can't remember the name.
Yeah.
But they would basically rescind their book from publication.
Mm-hmm.
They'd fall into obscurity. There'd be no coming back from it.
Oh, none.
So,
but we don't get to do that because everything we do is policed, is over policed. So we're not allowed. But the caulkers, they can say do whatever they want, and they can blame it on their weed. They can blame it on their diabetes. They can blame it on whatever.
It's just,
no matter.
It's just wild. And this has been like kind of an ongoing thing on Twitter, because I know a lot of book reviewers are not starting to, but they're for obvious reasons upset, because they're like, what is with this trend of authors being pissed off with reviewers for reviewing their book? And she's mad because she got a good review. That's completely insane.
That sounds about white.
So,
I mean, I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't get it. And it was just, I remember just like seeing it on my timeline. I was just like, we need to talk about this. We need to discuss this, because I don't get it. Like, as a reviewer or as an author, like, why would you get upset? Like, what right do you have to tell someone else how to have an opinion on art? Like, I feel like...
I'm trying to hold my tongue because I'm trying to be good, because this is the live chat. But it's all about that damn privilege. It's the caucasity, and I'm trying to talk in code so that doesn't get. That's what it is. It's the caucasity. Like, how dare you tell me that my stuff? And it wasn't even a bad review. And even if it was, as a writer, you're supposed to read the review if you're going to read. I don't read them. I try not to read them because if somebody says something bad, you know, I have kind of thick skin, but it's still going to hurt because, well, you put your heart and your soul into the things that you write. But if you're going to read it, you have to just take it for what it is and see if there's anything in there that holds truth. And then you use that to become a better writer.
Yep.
But you got 4 stars and you're up here comparing it to a sexual assault. And, you know, how dare anybody give you anything less than 5 stars? I'm sorry. There's just so much caucasity in that. I just cannot. It's
ridiculous.
It's beyond ridiculous.
Yeah.
Someone gave you 4 stars. You should just be happy. And to sit there and be like a whiny little, that's like when I was a kid, there was this little girl down the street that I used to play with only when I got really, really, really bored and had nobody else to play with. Reason for that being, if you didn't do everything her way, this little fat princess would, it's my toys. I'm telling my mom, you go home. You get out of my house. And every time I went down there, you know, my parents were like, why do you go down there? I'm like, because I'm bored. Only happened whenever I was extremely bored. And that's why, because if I didn't do everything her way, play everything her way, play with the toys she told me to play with, she got mad, told her mom, and then kicked me out the house. That just is so what this woman did. Like, she didn't get 5 stars, so she's been raped now. Connection, not there for me.
It doesn't exist. There's no connection to be made. It's completely asinine, and she's completely off her rocker because I'm just like, there's no way to take this in a negative manner. Like, you took something that was extremely positive and you spun it into a negative manner, and then you got mad because people called you out on it, and instead of apologizing and letting it go, because here's the thing. I'm not down for the excuse of, oh, I was high. Because, first of all, what kind of weed are you smoking that makes you think things like that? That's not something I would brag about on the internet. But
right. Yeah, no, okay.
But even if that's your jam, right? Like, you like your weed laced with acid or something, that's on you, right? But even when you came to soberness, you should have just been like, okay, that was a bad tweet. I apologize. I was out of pocket. And left it at that.
Not, you double down.
Not double down. Blocking reviewers, blocking anybody who called her out on it, like quote tweeting people and being like, I said what I said and I meant it. Be nice to the authors. And Ben said we're not allowed to say the R word on YouTube, so we shouldn't say it anymore. Okay. Well, thank you for letting us know. But
R word. Let me see. Ben's over here talking about R.
Yeah, the one with the sexual assault. That one. Not allowed to say
that. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And BC Brown Books is here. Hey girl, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. And you're absolutely right. Like, people have a huge issue with just admitting when they are wrong. And it's just like, it's really not that hard, you guys, to be like, I made a mistake. That was a bad tweet. I shouldn't have said it. I was wrong. Amazing how you can just tweet that. I was wrong. Boom. There you go. Accountability. It's amazing. But and as far as I know,
although they don't think that they don't think that they're wrong because they're just upset that they got dragged on these internet streets.
I guess. And it's just
my grandmama always said, if you want to know how somebody feels, get them drunk or get them angry, and whatever comes out of their mouth is the issues of their heart. So just saying, even if she was high, that's like, okay, so that's how you really feel.
Yeah.
So that you still ain't getting off the hook.
Now, can you imagine if it had been a 1-star review?
Oh no.
So
this might have been through these streets with a gun trying to look for folks or something. Who knows?
It's like this is personal now. Like, I need to find you.
Right.
So that was the Twitter drama number 1. And Twitter drama number 2, you guys, is honestly, I'm not gonna say it's worse, but in a lot of ways, I would probably say it is because, as we know, there was the big five, and then somebody bought somebody else, and now there are really only four big publishers. You can't. Oh, wow! There are a lot of words you can't say on YouTube, you guys.
What?
Okay, so apparently, we're not monetized anyway, so it's not like they can demonetize us. I just didn't know there were rules like that. Interesting.
So you can't say STUPID by itself?
No, I think they're talking about the R word. Actually, saying sexual assault, you're not supposed to say those two together.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So we're learning new words that we can't say, you guys. If you have any more that we should be mindful of, please let us know.
Yeah. Let us know.
But I'm glad, Ashley brought up cancel culture warriors, and if anyone tells them that their toots stink, then they swear it's a conspiracy against them. And can we talk about cancel culture? Because I really don't like that phrase, because people are like, ooh, it's cancel culture. Ooh, it's cancel culture. And it's just like, ooh, it's accountability. Wow.
Right.
It's like, no one's canceling you. It's like, if we don't want to interact with you because you're kind of a terrible person, then that has everything to do with you being accountable for your actions, and not people being like, oh, like, what are we supposed to do? Like, I'm confused. Like, did you just think that you're going to come out of pocket and start insulting people left and right? Like, you're going to insult the entire part of the industry that promotes your book for practically free, and they were just going to be okay with that? Like, no. Their actions have consequences. I don't understand how that's cancel culture. Like, what is that even? Like, I'm confused.
Yeah. I don't... I think that's just, the thing about the internet is they make up words all the time for everything. And
there was already a word,
that's
what I'm confused about.
I'm just like, I'm not going to put my money behind someone that I know is or shows himself to be racist. If I am giving money to something and I don't know they're racist, well, that's one thing. But if I know outright you are, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that word, but if I know outright that you have prejudices against people with melanin, I'm not going to support you, period. End of discussion.
Exactly.
Because we have dealt with enough in this country as Black folks, and I'm not going to give my dollars to someone to help them continue to live their life and spread their trash and their ideologies. It's just not going to happen. So I don't see it as cancel culture. I see it as, I put my money where my mouth is with my dollars.
Exactly. Like, I support the things that I feel like are worth supporting. And that goes for anybody of any race, culture, background. If you are a crappy person, I'm not going to spend my money with you. So
right.
That's just what it boils down to. If you're an author, I'm not buying your books. If you're a musician, I'm not streaming your music. If you are an artist, I'm not buying your painting. If you are a news anchor, I'm not watching your station anymore. Like, it doesn't matter. And what's so amazing is that people were canceling people long before the internet came along. It's just like, y'all just gave it a new name. It's just like,
we called it boycotting.
I'm just saying. It existed long before this. And then let's be real here. Like, some things need to, quote unquote, be canceled. Because I don't know if you guys saw it, and this is somewhat unrelated to book stuff, but I just feel like there is power in cancel culture, because, like, people need to, it's basically people across who normally wouldn't be invested in a situation being aware and being like, oh, nah, this is not okay. And one of the things that's been coming across my timeline lately that's not book related is there's a biracial girl, and she had really long hair, and it was like blonde and curly, right? And some kid chopped off half of it on the bus. And so her dad took her to go get a haircut. And 2 days later, a teacher cut her hair down to the scalp. And basically, they're trying to get consequences for the teacher, because the teacher still has a job. He called and was obviously raising up raising the issue to the principal and the superintendent. And they were basically like, well, what do you want us to do? Have her send I'm sorry cards in the mail? Like, y'all assaulted this child. She's 7, and you decided that it was your right as an adult to take scissors to her head and cut her hair down to the scalp.
What reason?
Me? What reason?
For what reason?
What reason?
What reason?
There is none. That's just the double working in through you.
Mm-hmm.
Cause and
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. All right, that ain't
Mm-hmm.
nothing but evil, pure
Yep.
unadulterated evil. And
Yep.
this teacher still has a job. All right, this teacher had no consequences. The most she got, I
Mm.
think they said they were gonna do was like a write up in her file.
See, if I was that parent, I'd be like, no, no. I would be getting all kinds of lawyers, and I would not stop until she was fired because that is assault.
Yeah.
That is abuse. And you cut off my child's hair. Not only am I going to go through legal channels, but I'm going to find you in the parking lot with a pillowcase full of Dial soap, and you ain't going to see me coming.
Not dial soap.
Dial soap, because it's the hardest soap there is. I'm just saying. And Dial soap used to be a lot bigger and a lot harder. It's gotten smaller over the years. But back when I was in college, that Dial soap and bars was as big as my hand and about as thick. And homie, if you got beat with that Dial soap,
like
saying, I'd be finding her.
Honestly, and I feel like they're not releasing her name because so many people feel like that. Like, catch me outside, bruh. Like, come out the building.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's absolutely no reason. And I was just like, how do you, as a parent, keep that under control? Like, how do you not murder this woman? Because as a teacher, you have,
Right.
like, a lot of your information is made available to the parents. And it's just kind of like, baby, I'm coming up behind you with a brick, for real, for real.
I'm just saying, and they always brave with the smaller ones and the ones who are weaker. Like I just saw there was a video, you probably saw it, with this young black teen boy who was walking through this neighborhood, and this guy was in the army and was yelling at him and telling him to get out of his neighborhood. Said he was harassing the neighborhood simply by walking in the neighborhood, and he lived there.
Yeah.
And he came with all this. Yeah, and he came with all this energy and pushed the boy and calling him MFers and all kinds of stuff. And then I just saw that a whole bunch of black people showed up to his house and said, come on out. And there was one big, tall black brother who said, I ain't here to talk. I just need him to come outside. And he never showed up, never came out, and then called the cops to have them escort him from his home. And then the cops put up barricades around their house because they're so scared. Now, you had all that energy and was all up in that boy's chest, being all bully, talking about, I'm going to show you, who I am and all this other stuff. And then when the black folks show up and say, oh, no, you ain't doing this to one of ours, he ain't nowhere to be found.
But also, again, going back to this whole thing of cancel culture, like the guy that you're talking about in that scenario, he was part of the military, and he actually got reprimanded.
Yeah, he's in the military.
They were like, this is not okay. So, and there are a lot of retired people who were calling attention to it too, and they were like, hey, this is not okay. This is not what we stand for. This is not what we fight for. Like, there needs to be consequences for this. So, and like, honestly,
he needs to be discharged, dishonorably discharged from the army and lose whatever pension he has. That's the only way they all going to learn, is when there are severe consequences. That'll make them at least stop and think like,
yeah, when you mess
really
with their
want to
money,
do
that's
this.
when they finally understand that there are consequences to actions. Because, and
yep,
this is
that's
the last
only thing they understand: violence and money.
And the last thing, because
right.
it irritated me right before I got on the live, and then I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it into the ether. No, I'm not. It's still gonna irritate me, but it's just the reality of being Black in America, right? But
right.
there are kids, like teenage kids, who got arrested for riding bicycles in a neighborhood, and I'm just kind of like, can you imagine minding your whole business and being told you need a license to ride a bike and being arrested and escorted away in handcuffs and having not one, not two, not three, but 6 different police cruisers pull up to arrest you and your friends for riding a bike? Not like a motorcycle, like a regular 2-wheel with handlebars and a bell bike.
Then it's a whole lot of white kids out my way that are breaking laws. So maybe I should go call the cops. Just saying. Because as I remember it, you don't need a license to ride a 2-wheel bicycle.
No, you don't. And it's just like, can we talk about how the cops are showing up? Because that means somebody somewhere is calling police because they saw black
Mm-hmm.
kids riding a bike. Like, imagine just like minding
Mm-hmm.
your own business. What would that be like? Imagine how freeing that is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, ooh, that has nothing to do with me and they're not hurting anybody, so I should mind my own business.
Right.
Thoughts.
Mm. Yeah.
Thoughts.
They don't know how to do that. You know
But
that. Come on now.
anyway, the other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is the whole thing with Simon and Schuster. Um, and that one
Oh.
made me like viscerally angry. Like, I was so enraged I actually had no words when I found out. And if you don't know what's going on with Simon and Schuster, basically, I think it was called Post Hill Press, I want to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something
And
like that.
they are the most racist people that I've ever come across in a long time. And the reason I say that with full confidence is because they are publishing the book by the police officer who shot and killed Breonna Taylor. And the book is the true, basically the true story of what happened with Breonna Taylor. And they are spinning it like, I don't even know, because I was just like, so angry. But basically, how do
He's
you
saying that he's telling the true story of what happened.
amazing, let's hear her side. Oh, we can't because you killed her
You killed her.
in her bed, in her own home. And then, did you guys know that he actually countersued her boyfriend for, because he shot back at them for like mental trauma?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
you killed his girlfriend in her home while she was asleep and arrested him
And
after
let's
you broke into
even
his
go.
house with a battering ram.
I was gonna say they broke into his house at 2:00 in the morning, homie. If somebody breaks in my house at 2:00 in the morning, I'd have done the same thing.
What'd you expect him to do? To be like, hello, can I bring you some cookies? I just, and it made me so mad because it's just like, not only did somebody pick this up, somebody, that means there's a whole process with traditional publishing. It doesn't just happen. That means somebody, that means he's probably got an agent, which means there are a lot of people who read this book and decided that it needed to see the light of day instead of this man being thrown in jail somewhere. Okay? And it's just like, so his editor read it, his agent read it, the publishers read it. He got a cover artist for it. He got a publicist for it. And it was going to be distributed by Simon and Schuster. And the reason why it's kind of bringing Simon and Schuster into the conversation is because they weren't publishing the book, but they are in a partnership with Post Hill Press, and they were going to distribute the book, which means they have a contractual agreement to put the book out in the world. And people were like, hey, what are you doing? And then they put out a what is it? Not a press release, but they put out a statement saying that, oh, we didn't know this was happening either until you guys said something. And so now people are calling like, y'all need to review who you have on staff, what kind of stuff that you're getting through, because if you didn't know about this, that means you're not checking, your contracts, you're not checking what kind of content you're putting out into the world, and yada 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 yada, right? And a lot of people are like, how dare you not know what you're putting out to the world? Like, that's just a cover up. Like, how do you, the only reason you're saying you didn't know is to try to cover your tracks or whatever,
and to try and save your business from losing a whole lot of money. That's what that's all about. So yeah, I'm not buying it.
It's just a whole scam.
Like, if you gonna be that way, do it with your whole chest and keep the same energy all the way through, and just say, listen, we believe in free speech, and we believe in supporting murderers who want to tell their side of the story, and just be real with it.
And can we talk about the fact that had we still had the same abysmal president that we had for the previous 4 years, they probably would have embraced it with their whole chest. Like, that's the thing that's frightening to me, because it's just like, while I did not agree with anything that happened over the past 4 years regarding our lack of leadership, I'll say, it was also one of those things where it's just like, hey, I like when we were trying to find somewhere to live, knew exactly where we didn't want to be because people were loud and proud about their racism. And it's just like, well, that makes things a lot simpler, you know? Don't want to be here, don't want to be there. Don't, you know, if you have on you know, red cap with the words, you know what I'm talking about on it, then I don't need to talk to you. I don't need to be around you. We don't need to be in the same space. No.
Nope.
We good.
Nothing.
So,
Deuces.
It's just like, it's great to know, but also just say it with your whole chest. Be who you are. If that's what you believe, say it with your whole chest. But also be prepared for that accountability council culture, boycotting that comes with you saying it with your whole chest. You know, but don't be on the fence, though. Don't be on the fence. That's my whole thing about it. But that's that's just so yeah. I'm reading the comments, you guys, but also like yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't even know what to say.
Right? It's just one of those things that you kind of have to sit with and kind of get over and like be like, okay, I can't be angry all day, every day. That's exhausting. But it's also kind of like the world that we live in because, again, we have indie authors who write amazing books who cannot get an agent, an editor, who gets sidelined and backlisted for countless reasons. And then you decide to pick up this dude.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. Knowing that she was murdered, knowing that her boyfriend told the whole story of what happened, so your truth is not factual. And with all this going on in the world right now, with the George Floyd murder trial, with you know, Chauvin being, you know, it's like George Floyd is on trial for his own murder, and Chauvin is the, you know, they're trying to make him out to be like justified what he did, and then, you know, we have the young man Dante, right, that just got killed. It's like, with all of that, did you really think that that was a good move?
And they probably did because they're like, ooh, people are gonna want this story because it's controversial because of everything that's going on. Some publicist somewhere who probably has blonde hair and blue eyes probably said that.
Yeah.
So.
Some Karen. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. But I can't.
Saying.
I'm not gonna put words in people's mouth. I don't know what conversations happened behind the sidelines or behind the scenes.
I'll put them in their mouths. You know, I don't have no problems with that. Come on now. I know I'm supposed to behave. Don't give me no avenue, Chelsea, because I'm going to take it.
I'm trying.
And I'm going to run, okay? I'm going to go with it. So you know how I told you. They called me militant midget when I was a kid for a reason.
Militant
you hear
midget.
me? Don't get me started. I'm just going to sit here and be quiet. I'm just going to look at my backdrop. Cause.
Anyway, I'm lost. I'm stuck on the militant midget. Okay. I can't.
Listen.
I can't.
It was a whole thing. Roots was out. It was the 70s.
You know.
It was an issue where I always got chocolate milk, and then this one time I wanted white milk, but the lunch aide who knew that I always liked chocolate milk, she saved the chocolate milk for me, and she said, no, you can't have the white milk. You want the chocolate milk. And I said, I can't have the white milk because I'm black. Is that what you're saying? Okay, I understand now. I can't have the white milk because I'm black. And I like had a full-on meltdown because we had just watched Roots, and even though my parents explained it to me, I ended up in the principal's office. My dad came in and was like, she was like, I was just saving the chocolate milk for her because that's what she likes, and you know, she doesn't like the white milk. That's all I was trying to do. And I was like, no, she's trying to keep the white milk from me because she doesn't think I'm good enough for it. Yeah. Then after that, militant midget. That was me.
Well,
I know. It's just, let's move on.
I don't even know what to say. Not over a carton of milk. You probably caught that lady so off guard.
listen. I was what, third, fourth grade. I had just watched Roots. You wasn't gonna keep me from having the white milk. I wanted the white milk.
Not the third grade. Not the third
It happened, okay? Oh, I became the militant midget after that.
Oh my god. I'm thinking that you're in high
Laughing
school. No, you're third.
Nah.
Can you imagine a third grader going off on you because you gave her chocolate milk?
I had my little pigtails, little teeny pigtails too, little braids sticking out the top of my head.
Oh god.
You know.
Oh god.
And it was after the episode where they made Punta say his name was Toby. I was like, nah, I want the white milk today. She didn't want to let me have it, so
oh god, I'm dead.
She wasn't going to suppress my rights to have the milk I wanted.
Not. I can't. Oh god.
You. Now you know. There's the story behind it. You got stuck on the militant midget. There you go. That's my life.
That is the best story I've ever heard.
Yeah, it was. And they were like, Mr. Hance, could you and your wife please talk to your daughter about Roots and explain things? And he was like, we do every single episode. But I mean, how does a child process that? This is a true story, and all of that. I mean, granted, it was for prime TV, so you know, it didn't like go. It wasn't real gruesome, especially back then in the 70s, because certain things just weren't allowed on TV. But what was allowed on was enough. My little brain couldn't understand it. And then my dad, I don't remember this part. My dad said I used to walk down the street saying, you know, you white racist honky to like everybody I saw.
Well, on that note, we're going to end the Melanin Chat. If you want to know the rest of the story, I suggest you sign up for the after chat, because we're definitely going to be addressing this. And it's $5 to get in, all right? Best $5 you'll probably spend, all right? And, I don't even know the rest of the outro because I'm really trying hard to not die on this live again, okay? Well, thank you guys so much for being here. It's been fun. It's been real. We will be back next week and same time. Check out the books, description box, link in the description box. I can't. What else am I supposed to tell you guys? Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss when we do this next week. Because YouTube does not want us to be great. They will not send you the notification if you don't turn on the bell. So, that being said, this was great. Thank you guys for showing up, for being here, for hanging out with us. We appreciate you. And that's everything. I'm lost.
We hope your days are lovely.
Yes. Until
there
next time,
go.
you guys. We hope your days are lovely and your books are interesting. Bye.
Bye.